Hello and welcome to My Xbox and Me, episode 181. I am one of your hosts, MC Fixer, alongside the beast from the northeast. Amy, how are you?
Guess who's back?
Back.
Back again.
Amy's back. You haven't really got to tell your friends because the show's
Don't tell. I mean,
we're on.
you can see me, so.
That's well, maybe we'll see. Amy, how you been? It's been a long time since you've been back on My Xbox and Me. How are things?
Pretty good. I can't complain. Like, everything is hunky-dory. Is that a thing people say still? Or
I mean, yeah, I guess so.
are we doing hunky-dory?
I don't know.
Hunky-dory.
I guess so. What's new? You can't say nothing. Something must have happened in the time you've been off the show. So come on.
I mean, how in depth do you want me to go with my life?
I mean, we don't need to go that in depth, but just the gist of things. So what has been going on?
Funny enough, that's what my counsellor asked me yesterday as well. Playing games, chilling out. Like, my life is pretty static at the moment.
Okay.
Like, unless you want me to start talking about like my transition, in which case, if you want to.
No. I mean, we're an Xbox podcast.
We're an Xbox podcast.
I mean, you can, whatever. Well, good to know.
Different show.
Good to know. For those who are wondering, my foot is somewhat better. It's better. I can walk on it now, which is obviously a great thing. Is it fully done? No, I still can't do everything, but shit happens.
Yeah, walking's overrated.
Shit happens. No, it's really not. That's something I learned. I learned that like tearing a ligament on your toe is like really important, and this is not the time. Don't worry about it. Remember, My Xbox and Me is our weekly Xbox podcast. You can get it early on patreon.com/mcfixer. The big one this month, for those who don't know. So this month on Patreon, if anyone supports at $20 level or more, I will be sending out to those people a big Xbox goodie bag. I've been showing it on my Twitch stream, which is like it's an Xbox bag, it's an Xbox T-shirt, it's an Xbox booklet, a book notepad, it's an Xbox pen, sticker, and the highlighter. Which I'll tell you what, I'll show you the highlighters because I've got it right here. Look, it's a star. It's an Xbox star. So anyone supporting over there will be getting that sent out to him, plus maybe a couple of weeks of Game Pass as well. So save yourself a couple of bucks on that. So if you are supporting on Patreon at that $20 level, you're going to get it. And if not, maybe go check it out. You're an Xbox fan, you like Xbox swag, here's the best way to get it. That's all I'm saying. Let's get into the news and topic of the shows and all that this week. Very, very slim pickings. Very, very slow news week. So here we go. Topic of the show this week is a fan email, actually. I didn't forget to read this one out last week, but it's one I wanted to wait for. I wanted to do it with Snowbite Mike. He's not here this week, so F him. Who cares? So here we go. It says, "Hello, Corey." It said and Snowbite Mike, but I cut his part out. So yesterday, when I was watching your stream, I was sat with my son Billy, and I asked you, Corey, if you would say hello to him on stream. Oh my days, he was absolutely made up when you shouted him out. So much so, he had tears in his eyes. And, sorry, this makes me so happy. Tears in his eyes, as he thinks you're a celebrity like Ninja. You then offered to get him a free My Xbox and Me shirt, just like his dad's, and... like his dad's. He then went on his Xbox and said to his mates, "Hey, do you know who MC Fixer is? I've been on his stream and he has like 10,000 followers. You don't understand how much this meant to me seeing his face light up. I've upped my Patreon support to show you a little bit more appreciation for all your hard work. It's the little things that brighten up anybody's day. MC Fixer, you have made an 8-year-old very happy, and I cannot thank you enough. Looking forward to grinding more Division 2 with the community. Oh, and Mike, keep being awesome. You are a very knowledgeable individual when it comes to gaming, and one sexy mother fudger. Much love, Tony, aka it's O Tony V, aka your personal healer on the Division." Tony, thank you so much for the email, dude. I mean, it's really not a big deal to me. The fact that your son even gives a crap who I am and you support me enough and stuff like that, I'm happy I could make someone's day brighter.
What a fucking awesome email.
I know, though. That's the thing that got me, is the fact that the email come in and I was like, Man, this is why I get out of bed at 9:30 when I'm not feeling it, and to record this show, because it's for people like Tony, it's for people that really care, the people that want this show day in, day out. So very, very, very thankful, and thank you so much for the support. I am working on the t-shirt. I need you to send me sizes just so I can go get one made up and I can send it out to you. But yeah, thank you for supporting, and you know, I'm not quite ninja yet, but I'll get there, Billy. I swear, I'll get there. Let's get into what's been in your box. Tony, Jesus. Amy, what have you been playing? Don't raise your eyes, I'm sorry. What have you been playing this week?
I'm just saying. What have I been playing this week?
Or just in general, we've not spoken to you.
What have I been playing this year? No, the Division 2 recently.
Nice.
I'm in it. Like, I don't play it much.
Okay.
Like, I'm still not level 30. I still haven't done like
God.
any of that stuff. What I do is
God.
when I'm listening to podcasts,
yeah,
I stick it on. Like, so if I listen to like a podcast like My Xbox and Me,
yeah,
I still listen even when I'm not around.
Still not sending emails. Interesting that though, isn't it? Interesting.
Well,
that.
you know,
complain that others didn't send in emails. Didn't send in emails yourself.
Oh,
interesting.
You have asked for it. Fix.
Interesting. I'm just saying. I'm just pointing out the facts.
I asked when I was on here every week if I could send emails, and you said no. So
now you're not on there every week. You know, you could send emails. Just saying.
Be careful what you wish for.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
We'll see. We will.
But
see.
no, I've been sitting down playing the Division 2.
What do you think?
For like an hour at a time. I'm actually really enjoying it. Like, it's probably the first loot shooter that I've played for this amount of time, because it's been out for like a month.
Yeah.
I'm normally out by now. Like,
to be fair, you're only just scratching the surface. You haven't even got to.
Oh yeah, like
yet.
I've heard stuff about the end game that makes me really excited, because it sounds like how an end game should be.
Oh, it's brilliant. It's
sounds
really good. I'm gear score 50. I can get my gear score up to 506.
Damn,
currently.
Nothing to me.
The soft cap's 500 at the moment. World Tier 5, 506. I'm just working on builds at the moment, and I'm still trying to get one. So you get these apparel keys, right? They're like loot chests. You can pay for them if you want to, but they're very easy to earn in game. And there's one emote that I'm trying to get that everybody else in my team has got apart from me, which is the disco dance. And I'm there, literally, I did my dailies today for 2 hours, like doing all the missions, clearing out things. I'm like, I'm going to get it this time. I literally have no luck. I've got like everything. I've got the t-shirts, I've got the trousers, I've got every other emote except for the one I bloody want. It's really annoying.
That's how it works.
But yeah, I'm really happy with Division 2. Really, 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 really enjoy it. I think I've just hit that point now where I'm kind of done. I play it today on my own, and on my own it's actually not very fun anymore. Like trying to run DZ on your own is pretty nail biting and just headbutting walls. It's just you're dying a lot, and I'm not gonna lie, my playstyle doesn't help in that matter. I am very much rushing, and my teammates do pick me up a lot.
That's my playstyle too.
Yeah. So playing on my own, I've got no one to back me up. In the dark zone, you can't use your reviver. It doesn't pop off. So yeah, if you're not using the reviver, I would definitely suggest doing that. It's the healer, the Hive reviver.
Oh, yeah.
It's brilliant. It's like a second life pretty much, and you just hop off and run away, heal up, and then you're back in the game. You haven't got to restart the whole mission and stuff like that. I always say it to new players, definitely.
At the minute, because I'm doing the sort of grinding out. Like, when I first started playing it, because I was doing it on PC, because I got a free copy with Process or whatever. And when I first started playing it, I was having the bug where you put down the what are they called, the gear
power the skills
abilities.
The skills.
The skills, and I was putting it down, it would disappear straight away
as well.
Yeah, so I was like, fuck. So I was using the stuff that didn't disappear, like the chem launcher and the
healing,
the seeker mines.
Yeah, I was using my turret and it just kept disappearing. I was like, this is so annoying.
It was bad.
Yeah.
Sometimes before it even hit the floor, it would just
disappear.
It'd be gone. And I'd be like, you motherfucker.
Yeah.
And then this dude with the sledgehammer would just be like, oh yeah, smack. Fucking dead.
It's again, like I say, I've really hit that point now where I'm like, I'm at the high end of the level cap. I can probably tweak my gear a little bit more. There's a couple of guns I still need to grind out and get. But it's becoming a bit more like spreadsheets now. I'm looking up spreadsheets and I'm looking at like oh, what's the best builds and stuff like that? What's going to do the most damage? Just getting the proper nerdy. And that's fun when you've got a team to play with. But when you're playing it on your own, I just don't need to get that nerdy. Obviously, the raid is coming out the 25th, which I'm very excited about. So anyone who is raid ready or needs to get raid ready, please feel free to hit me up. I know me, Tony, Yami, who else have we been playing with? Paul, Moody's now raid ready, Stu's now raid ready, like the whole squad. We've been playing, and we're more than happy to not drag people, but like get people through, and then drop you high level gear, because all our gear is 500. So we drop 500 gear for people, so they're in like World Tier 1 with like 400 gear scores, and we're just like running through like pop, 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 get out of my face.
I'm having so many flashbacks to World of Warcraft right now. It's crazy.
But yeah, so we're just ready. We're getting raid ready at the moment, so should be interesting. Anything else you've been playing?
Yeah, so there was I had a gap in my sort of schedule last week, so I was sort of scratching around for games to play, and I saw this one had come out on Game Pass, which was new, called Operencia, which is a first-person dungeon crawler.
You reviewed it, right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Well, I did an impression.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, it was really fun. Like, I picked it up because I hadn't played a decent dungeon crawler for years. So I was like, oh, fuck. And it's in Game Pass. Perfect. Yeah. I can just download it straight away. I don't have to worry about buying it. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of fun. It was more fun than I was anticipating, because I didn't know how that was going to translate, doing a dungeon crawler, but with a controller. And as it turns out, actually pretty well.
Yeah, it looks interesting.
Yeah, it's quite fun. So it's like, it's not real time like a lot of dungeon crawlers that I've played, where the combat it's turn based. So you run into an enemy in the overworld map, and then you go on into combat. But it's got the combat's kind of cool, because it does this one unique thing where the enemies are at different ranges. So there's like 3 lanes.
Yeah.
So there's a close combat, you mid combat, and your far long range combat. And different abilities will be more effective. Like if you use a melee attack, it's really effective and does maximum damage to someone that's standing right in front of you, whereas someone on the back row, it'll do minimum damage. So you've got to try and balance all that kind of thing out, instead of just selecting whatever and hitting, just like, in like RPGs, turn-based RPGs, you can get into that kind of rhythm of just mashing the button to attack.
Definitely.
Yeah, you can't do that in this.
Oh, okay.
Because you'll start losing that effectiveness if you're fighting like archers on the back row. You can't just attack, because you'll probably get killed.
Oh yeah.
But it's a lot of fun. I'm about 4 or 5 hours into it. And,
okay.
I'm gonna keep streaming it as well, because I was having quite a bit of fun with it.
Streaming it where? Where did you stream?
Oh, I stream at twitch.tv/wordsaboutgames. Thank you for asking.
Oh, interesting. Good to know.
Good times. Yeah.
What else have I been playing? I play FIFA. I've been playing FIFA again this week. Been playing pro clubs. Nothing more to talk about there. FIFA's still shit, but
sports.
I still love it. But yeah, it's literally just been those two, really, Division and FIFA. I really need to go back. I need to go and play Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I need to play Metro Exodus. I've got so many. I've got what have I got? What's it called? Outward. I've got that sent to me by Deep Silver. I'm just sitting on games, and I'm like, oh god, I really need to get to it. I really need to get to them. So I think Metro Exodus Monday, I'm going to start playing that.
Nice.
And finally, I've wanted to play it for ages, but Division Anthem dropped, and then Division dropped, and I've been in that grind where I'm like, okay, Monday, I'm back in the gym Monday, so I'm gonna go to the gym, come home, stream, and it's gonna be Metro Exodus. I think start playing that through. So should
no
be
Anthem.
Interesting. No Anthem. A good one. Haley comes busting through the door because she wants to play it so bad. And I'm just like, no, thank you. And she's like, I hate you. No Anthem, unfortunately. When they fix that game and make it into something that's worth playing, maybe I'll go back. Yeah, when. Let's give a shout out to our Patreon producer this week, which is Mike Lynch, of course. Thank you, Mike, for keeping the lights on. Also, I was pointed out to me by a little young gentleman. Last week I did Patreon thank yous, and I missed someone. Goes by the name of Tony. You know, the guy that just sent the lovely message. I absolutely forgot him. So, Tony, Thank you. I will put you alongside Mike Lynch this month this week as Patreon producer. Again, this doesn't happen without those people. Without people supporting on Patreon, there is none of this. Literally, doesn't matter how much you support, but if you can support at any level, please consider doing so. News: Microsoft exec on Google's Stadia.
I'm gonna keep it straight first.
You didn't forget Mike this week. Wait, what? So I'm not reading chat. I'm recording live as well, by the way. Microsoft exec on Google Stadia. They don't have the content. An executive at Microsoft recently commented on Google Stadia and other emerging cloud gaming competitors, saying they don't have the content to compete with major players in the industry. Per the Telegraph via WCCF Tech, Microsoft's Xbox Division Chief Marketing Officer, Mike Nichols, argued that while Google Stadia and others have the infrastructure in place, they lack the content necessary to flourish in the industry. Quote, emerging competitors like Google have the cloud infrastructure, a community with YouTube, but they don't have content, said Nichols. You won't necessarily need a device over time, but you'll need the best experience with local processing power. There was also an update to this story. Microsoft spokesperson spoke to IGN following the comments, and they said this, quote, it's a great time to be a gamer at Xbox. We're putting players at the center of our vision for the future of gaming by delivering blockbuster content from Xbox Game Studios and our partners, growing the thriving Xbox community and giving them choice and the opportunity to play how they play across devices and through Project xCloud. Microsoft spokesperson says. A little bit of damage control there, which is like, hey, hey, we've gone off a bit off branding. Phil's been like, inclusion. Hey, Mike, calm yourself down there, son. And then it's like, spokesperson, hey, all get back on the same level. This is our statement. Yep, we're giving players choices. I think he makes a good point, though, right?
Well, yeah, but I don't know if Microsoft are the ones who should necessarily be the ones telling anybody else that they don't have the content, because let's not forget how they entered this console generation.
Yeah, but I think you've got to give them credit now, but what you've got to remember is Xbox already have the third party relationships. That's not something that Google necessarily don't have. They don't necessarily have it. It's all well and good having Doom, what they showed, and Assassin's Creed and Division, which are like the ones they've showed off. But what about everything else? Which is Xbox already have those built-in relationships, and it's way easier to go in there and say, hey, do you want to be on this? For them to say, yeah, cool, it's another place, and we earn more money, than it is to actually build a relationship. You know how hard it is to build a relationship in any industry. So it's just as much here. They're already built in there. Like, don't get me wrong, from an exclusive standpoint, I'm with you. But in the same breath, they did just buy all these studios. And they're already studios working on stuff that is now going to come over as exclusives, which Google are building from what we know. Again, there's not enough information out there, but from what we know, they're building a studio. So
yeah, we don't know how big it is.
No.
Just that Jed Raymond's in charge of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just in terms of I like the update quote a lot more than the original quote. I think the original quote is really ironic, all things considered. But I don't know, like they keep mentioning June, which makes me think that Google's going to do something for E3, and I feel like that's probably where we're more likely to see what they've got in terms of relationships with other developers, other publishers. What they're bringing.
I don't see there being many people coming out and saying, no, we don't want to be on there. Yeah, like, generally, right. I don't see that. But, he does have the first... Mike does have a point there with, like, the fact that they just don't have the relationships built currently and the exclusive content that they would need to make someone have this as their sole purpose, which, again, we don't know how good it is and how it works and stuff like that. But that's the idea of what they're going for. It was just like, you don't need to go anywhere else. You can click from your browser and you're in. And you don't need consoles anymore. That was their pitch, which is we're 10 times faster than the Xbox One X and the PlayStation 4 Pro and blah, 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 blah. So now that you say things like this, it's like, well, true. What do you have to show? You haven't showed off anything yet. So
yeah, I have many issues with the Google Stadia thing, the most pressing of which is I pay for fiber and I might not necessarily be able to use this thing because of where I live, because I live up north It's like think of Winterfell in Game of Thrones. That's more or less where I live, but with a bit less snow. Like the the whole thing where they're talking about the future of gaming is not a box, like bullshit. And then when they compare
PC.
this, yeah, obviously. And when I mean, you need you use a PC to use Google Stadia, right?
Well, exactly, yeah.
Well, wait until you get the app to download onto the Xbox. But
don't be surprised. Don't be surprised.
It would not surprise me. But when they're comparing their specs and they're like, oh, we're this much faster than the Xbox One and we're this much faster than the PS4, it's like, of course you fucking are. There's new ones coming out next year.
Yeah. I did think that, but whatever. Whatever.
Like, sure, yeah, Google.
Yeah, whatever. Just thought it was an interesting one. Plus, it is
interesting.
We got no news this week, so I had to put it in there.
It is interesting. Like, it is interesting for Mike Nichols to come out and talk like this, and then walk it back a bit, which was probably smart to walk it back a bit.
Definitely. Next up, I always say it wrong. Sekiro. Shadows Die Twice sells 2 million copies in 10 days. FromSoft's Sekiro Shadows Die Twice has now sold 2 million copies in just 10 days, revealed by publisher Activision. This number was achieved between sales on PC, PS4 and Xbox One. Activision confirmed to IGN that this is sold through to consumers and includes both digital and physical sales on all platforms. The quote we have here is, "It's been an honor to work with FromSoft to help introduce a brand new franchise to to gamers around the world," said Activision's VP of Project Management. The fans have made Sekiro Shadow Die Twice one of the most incredible game launches in 2019 thus far. The game has performed well on all platforms, including PC, and we're excited to continue support from gamers and critics alike. I've not had the chance to play the game. I have now come around on the idea of actually getting the game and playing it.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those games that I know I'm not gonna finish, and I know that I'm just going to get very, very angry at very, very quickly. But I do think I owe it to FromSoft to actually play a game. They finally brought it to Xbox. Think about how many people, including myself, says like, "Oh, you got to bring these games to Xbox. We didn't get this, we didn't get that," and then it comes over, and lucky it's selling well. But I wonder how much of that's actually sold well on Xbox. And I feel like I need to support it. It's meant to be amazing, so I really do want to check it out. That being said, have you been following much of this whole accessibility and easy mode, baby ass baby mode conversation at all?
I'll go you one better, Fix. Not only have I been following the discourse on easy modes and accessibility, I have been actively diving directly into the discourse.
I'd love to hear your hot take, because I've not actually spoke about it. Where'd you come down on the whole
I mean, there's this good thing that someone said, fuck, I can't remember now, on Twitter, because there's been a lot of discourse about this, where like Sekiro's meant to be a very difficult game, and let me just put this on, it's a fucking very difficult game. It's a really well made game. That's my preface to what I'm about to say.
Yes.
I fucking hate this game so much on a personal level. Anyway, the game is meant to be challenging, right? But the game that I think of when I'm talking about accessibility, not just necessarily an easy mode, just accessibility, because they're two separate things, is Celeste.
Okay, yeah.
Because, like,
I do.
You know what your what's the best way to describe this? You know what your what would challenge you?
Yes. Puzzles.
And maybe the difficulty level in Sekiro would be too high for you.
Yes.
But if you could tweak a couple of things here and there, like not necessarily just turn it down to easy mode to make the game a cakewalk. If you say, I don't know, you gave yourself a little bit extra stamina, or your stamina regen was a little bit faster, or the combat was a little bit slower paced, something like that, it would still be challenging for you. And then somebody else who was like, Sekiro is perfect just the way it is, I'm not going to change anything, would still have a challenging experience.
Yeah.
Like, it's about getting more people in. Like, what if there were accessibility options in Sekiro, that 2 million might be 5 million?
But in the same breath, what about obviously we talk about video games as if it's art. and that's what people say it is. And the artist is the one creating this piece of art, and they want this piece of art to be very hard to play. Who are we to then say that it should be accessible to everyone? Is there an opinion you got on that? Or for me, this is where I come down on. For me, it's a case of if I create a piece of content and it's really, really hard for one person and then challenging for another, I've done that on purpose. I've done it because this is how I want my game to be. I don't think everything needs to be accessible to everyone. And I do understand it, though, because I was listening to the Kind of Funny Games cast, not Games Daily, and they were talking about, like, people, like, obviously from, like, able gamers and stuff like that, people who physically can't play this game, and obviously that's a shame, and that sucks, but this is a piece of art, and you can't restrict people or force them to shoe on in modes like Celeste had because it doesn't jive with you. You then have to take yourself out of it and go, okay, this one's not for me. There are millions of other games that are. This one isn't.
Well, thousands. But, yeah, no, I mean, that's fair enough. Miyazaki and From Software do whatever the fuck they want. Like, why are they going to listen to me?
Yeah, no.
I know, but, yeah. Like, in terms of artistic vision, yeah, okay, fair enough. If you want to make your game hard, cool. I totally think that you do it, right? But in terms of that sort of artistic vision side of the debate, what's difficult for one person is impossible for another person. It's not necessarily about making it like so easy that you can just steamroll through it and just mash all the buttons and like not making it a challenge. If that's what you want to do, like go for it, right? You might to say like playing all the games on super easy. Like, if Sekiro had, like, okay, maybe Sekiro's a bad example because I'm really bad at parrying combat, and that's all there is in this game.
Yeah.
But, like, let's go back and say if Dark Souls 3 had accessibility options where I could tone the difficulty down, like, I wouldn't do it.
I would.
Because, like, I played the game and I loved it. But you'd play it, right? Yes. Like, at a certain point, it becomes... It's inclusivity in terms of like able gamers and stuff like that we're talking about. I don't really feel comfortable talking about that because I'm very fortunate in that I don't have a physical disability that stops me from playing games. But like, if we could have like awesome conversations about Dark Souls, because I love Dark Souls, like I really do, and I think a lot of people who would love, say, Dark Souls and Sekiro, they get put off almost instantly.
Oh, as soon as I hear a game is a Dark Souls game, in quotes, I instantly go, no, this isn't a game for me. Because I know that, not because I don't think it was going to be a great game, or that it's going to be beautiful or well-designed, or any of that, just because I know that it's going to be gruelingly hard, and that's not something that jives with me. I don't want something that I am slamming my head against the wall. I don't find it fun to be stuck on the same boss for 3 hours. I get it in 3.5 hours when I do it, that moment of, oh my god, I've done it, but then I need to go do it all over again. I played Neo, I had the same thing happen to me. I played Bloodborne, the same thing happened to me. Those type of games just don't do it for me. But in the same breath, I don't think an easy mode would change that either. Because I feel like that's the game, right? It's you need to be beaten and beaten and beaten to learn how to overcome. Just by lowering the bosses and enemies' difficulties down, would that not change the game drastically and what they're actually meant to be? I don't know because I've not played them.
It depends how you do it, right? Like there's two different sort of schools of thought you could have on it. There's the Celeste model where it's almost modular, so you can choose to have in Celeste, obviously, like you can choose to have an extra dash, or you can choose to have an extra bar on your stamina meter, or you can just choose to fly around like Superman, like whatever. And then they would say what you're talking about would probably be more about like Cuphead style, which was quite disappointing because when you turn Cuphead down from normal down to easy,
there was no difference.
It changed the boss. It changed the bosses in terms of like phases. Phases were missing.
Let me clarify what I mean by there was no difference. What I mean is the difficulty didn't really feel like it actually changed. it felt like it just got a shorter level, and the attacks were different in a certain way, but it still didn't feel much easier. It just felt shorter.
Yeah, 100%. It was like in a normal phase boss fight, there's like 4 stages, and then in the easy mode stage, there's like 3. So you're just missing a stage, and the difficulty is still the same.
Yeah.
Like, and that I wasn't a fan of how Cuphead handled difficulty, to be fair. And I've totally like talked myself out of whatever I was talking about. But if I keep rambling, I'm sure I'll find the point again. No, but there is a way to do it where, like, you're talking about like learning the boss fights.
Yeah.
And I guess for the first time, I'm on that side of the fence of a From Software game where I'm having real difficulty playing it, to the point where I've just gone, nah, fuck this shit, and I've got like, I'm not playing it anymore. And it is that thing of like, you run up to a boss and it takes some time to get to the boss, and then it smashes your face in within the first few seconds. So then you're like, well, yep, I've got to learn this boss. Okay, so I go back and do it again, and then he smashes your face in again. Like, and as you slowly learn, like, but in terms of Sekiro, it's like, it really does feel like you're just constantly getting your face smashed in.
That's
like,
from all the conversations I've had with people, and maybe they're just not very good at games, but that's what I seem to. Whenever I watch a stream, that's what it seems like as well, which is just people run in, die. Okay, I know what to do. Run in, die. Okay, I know what to do. And then they clearly don't know what to do, because I'm watching them do this for about an hour. So yeah.
Like, I was stuck on some bosses in Sekiro for a lot longer than I'm stuck on bosses in, say, Bloodborne or Neo. Because when I was playing those games, I felt like I was getting better in terms of sort of like learning like the boss moves and how to parry or how to dodge, or when to dodge, or when to attack and when not to attack. Whereas in Sekiro, I was just getting the shit kicked out of me. And then by the time I'd finished and I'd actually beaten one of the bosses, I never had that sense of like, yes, I've finally done it. I was just like, thank fucking Christ, that's over. And then I'd spend another 2 minutes walking in another direction, and there's another mini boss. Yeah. And so I've got to repeat the whole process over again. Because there's so many mini bosses in this game.
Interesting. We'll put a pin in the discussion for now. But okay. Interesting. Still, congratulations to the game for selling 2 million, though.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, congratulations,
Next one, which is a strange one. Gearbox CEO claims Troy Baker was asked to return for Borderlands 3. If you've not been following this, Gearbox Software CEO Randy Pickford has claimed that Troy Baker was approached to reprise his role as Reese, but turned it down. Responding to a fan on Twitter, Pickford said, "I was told by the audio director that he turned it down. He followed up with, fortunately, with how Reese appears in the game. I don't think it will matter at all." The original story, Troy Baker, the prolific voice actor, who I've interviewed. Let me add that part in. I've interviewed him.
Is Troy Baker in
Met him multiple times. He signed my copy of Resident Evil 6. Who plays such characters in Joel's Last, blah, 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 blah. There's a whole thing going on right now. Troy was on a panel and said that he would have loved to have played the role, but he was never asked. Then Randy Pickford's come out and said that he was asked, but he turned it down. I feel like there's a middleman here that has got it all wrong. I think 2 parties have got this wrong. I feel like Troy must have been approached by it, but his management was like, no, thank you. Or the audio director is lying? Question mark?
I mean, was it Randy Pitchford who said that he was asked?
Randy Pickford come out and said, Pitchford said that the audio director told him that he turned it down.
I don't know. Here's my hot take on this. And I have a hot take. I surprisingly have a hot take on this, not being a Borderlands fan. Right. Like, between Randy Pitchford and Troy Baker, one of those people has lied to my face.
Okay.
And one of them hasn't, like, in the past. So I know who I believe in this particular situation.
Care to share?
Troy Baker. Surprisingly enough.
Yeah, so I don't know where this leaves us. Honestly, I think that it means that Troy Baker will probably get called up and be like, hey, do you want to do it? And whoever voiced him is getting shafted.
They'll give him another role. They'll give the Troy Baker replacement some other role in the game.
Yeah, who cares?
And if Troy doesn't do it, they'll just get Nolan North because that's how games work.
I mean, it does. It's true. April's Inside Xbox teases Microsoft's E3 plans. Inside Xbox, Microsoft's monthly Xbox Live showcase, returns next week with a look into their gaming giant that has... Sorry, I've butchered all of that. With a look at what the gaming giant has planned for E3 2019. Additionally, Gears of War 5 developer, The Correlation, head of studio, Rod Ferguson, will be on hand. Oh, I can't wait. With some details that could be concerning Gears of War 5 or, more importantly, Gears of War Tactics. But we will likely see the Gears of War Pro Circuit. The hour show will be live from Tuesday, April 16th at 2 p.m. Pacific. I'm not sure what date that is for everybody else.
10 p.m.? 9 p.m.?
9, 10 usually, isn't it? So, yeah. So, I'll be doing a watch-along live on twitch.tv/MC Fixer. If you want to watch with someone, come watch with me.
And I'll be watching that watch-along.
Perfect. We'll skip this next one because it doesn't need to be there. April's games with gold. April's Game Pass games have been added, which are some good ones. From April 11th, you can get Prey. From April 11th, you've got the Golf Club 2. From April 18th, you've got Monster Hunter World. Going in there so quick. From April 18th, you've got The Walking Dead: A New Frontier, which wasn't that good. From April 24th, you've got Life is Strange Episode 2. And from April 25th, you have got Resident Evil
My God.
5.
If you don't have Game Pass, what are you doing?
Seriously, no. But on a serious level, though, for people who don't buy loads of games a year, Game Pass is really getting good now. Prey, Monster Hunter World, Life is Strange, obviously Episode 2 is a big one. Resident Evil, whatever. But it's really interesting to see the games they get into go in there. Obviously, Monster Hunter was a big one.
Monster Hunter's a huge one.
Yeah, I'm really surprised it's in there, but it's so good. It's a good catch. They've got a good working relationship with Capcom when it comes to Game Pass. So yeah, but I was shocked to see that one in there because I thought that was probably still selling a few copies. But maybe they'll sell more with more people going back in and playing it, possibly.
Yeah.
We will see.
It's how it works somehow, right? Like you put your game in Game Pass and you sell more copies.
Yeah, because I think what it is because you got to think of it more of the word of mouth. It's like you're playing Game Pass, yeah, and then you tell one of your friends, "Oh, I'm playing Monster Hunter World. You should get it," and they go, "Oh, cool. What on Game Pass?" And like you go on Game Pass and they go, "Oh no, I don't really want that," and they'll just go out and buy it. Like I've got a bunch of friends who do that, like FIFA every year. I'm like, just buy a FIFA physically, use a 10-hour trial, buy it, and then trade it in, and you'll get over £20 just before it goes in game EA Access.
EA Access.
And then they're like, no, I'll just keep my copy. I'm like, what? You can get a whole
game
year.
The system, man.
And they're like, nah, it's good. They don't care. They generally just don't care. I'm like,
Game
okay,
Pass
you got too much money. I'm poor. That's why I have to game the system.
I really like the idea Xbox Game Pass stream that they did a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah,
just because the indie games that they were putting in.
Yeah, like the Nintendo Direct type thing they did. I played the after party actually.
Ooh.
Yeah, played the
really
EGX release. Yeah, really good. Really enjoyed it. Enjoyed it. But I'll talk about that again at some point maybe. Xbox games with gold. You've got the Necromancer available from April 1st to April 30th. Outcast second contract from April 16th to May 15th. On the 360 side, you've got Star Wars Battlefront 2 from April 1st to April 15th, and Ghost Recon Wildlands. Ghost Recon Advanced Warfare 2 from April 16th to April 31st.
Whoop, whoop.
This is where we're going to fix a sack, where you can email in myxboxandmepodcast@gmail.com. This email comes from no one, because we didn't get any emails. What have I got to do? Moody, Stu, Amy.
I don't know.
All of you. Can I get some goddamn emails, please?
I announced my glorious return to this podcast with 5 minutes warning, and I don't get any emails.
Ridiculous.
Disappointed.
Let's plug, and get ourselves out of here. What have you got to plug this week, Amy?
I have my YouTube channel, youtube.com/wordsAboutGamesUK, where I review games and I talk about games and I shout at people on the internet. It's fun times. You should come hang out there. And I have twitch.tv/wordsAboutGames, where I stream games. At the moment, I'm streaming Resident Evil HD with a randomizer on. which is randomized all the enemies, all the locks, all the items. Is it hardcore? Yeah, it absolutely is. I walked into the second room mansion and there was a tyrant in there.
That sounds awful. I'm not gonna lie to you. That sounds awful.
It's actually a lot of fun.
Sounds awful. Sounds awful.
You should try it. I think you'd really dig it once you got your head around it a bit.
We'll see. Maybe I will. Maybe I will. You can find me everywhere at MC Fixer. You hear it every week, so go follow me on those places. I'd appreciate it. I ain't gonna lie, I need to go to the toilet, so I'm gonna run off. Until next time, love you, leave you, see you later. Goodbyes.